Hello everybody! I'm very happy to see you again. In the previous videos we discussed science, techniques and technology in a brief. Now it's time to see how information can be effectively searched, categorized and went into system of cataloging. That would allow you to effectively navigate through science subjects, certain techniques and technologies. It will help you with your personal searching, in library for example, and within this MotivationHow project. And we will discuss this topic in two videos named Classification and Subjects. This is the first part. The whole scientific and technological human knowledge is very vast. It's important to find structured and effective way to navigate throughout such enormous amount of accumulated information. For that reason, science and technology both are divided into branches, or simplified into subjects. Each branch covers certain limited area of science or technology. Even they are divided into branches, such branches may still be vast enough, and so they may contain smaller sub-branches to cover particular areas deeply. In case it's not enough, even more narrow branches can be introduced. For example, we have mathematics as a branch of science. Mathematics has sub-branches including algebra, and algebra has own sub-branch including Boolean algebra. We can imagine such division with a picture of our scientific and technological trees. From the bottom to the top you have major branches, like tree has thick ones closer to the ground. The smaller ones grow out of each big branch, and eventually, after traveling on thinner and thinner branch, we reach leaves of the tree, which means we have the narrowest topics covered. Very good hierarchical structure in action. There are a few questions coming here. How to effectively find appropriate topic on such a big tree? And is there a way to improve searching mechanism to navigate within our trees? For that purpose, people came up with different classification systems. Classification is the arrangement of things in classes according to the characteristics that they have in common. To build such system, it requires a lot of collective systematic work. If we talk about branches of science or branches of technology, such classification work helps to clarify borders between branches and helps to find relations between broader and narrower branches of science or technology. Scientific branches can have long names, not easily intuitively expressing a meaning behind them. As a result, names for related narrow and broader branches might not look relevant to each other. That makes hierarchical search more difficult. Therefore, assigning codes for each subject with simple rules for finding relations between codes and therefore between corresponding subjects would be extremely beneficial. And luckily, such codifying systems already exist, so we can use them for our own benefit. MotivationHow project plans to utilize some huge classification work which was already done. We will discuss couple classification systems already in use. We will see how we can adopt it for preparing information for MotivationHow project itself. We will see how we can improve search using classification coding on our portal. And at the same time, you can see how useful it can be. For example, you can improve a library book searching process for yourself. There might be other exotic scenarios how such information could be helpful. For example, to understand why do you need to take certain courses, prerequisites, prior to learning another course in a college. So you will find out a lot of useful information in this video. Ready to discover? Did you have a chance to visit library closest to your home? It's a very nice place with free resources to read. Libraries may contain thousands and sometimes even millions of papers and electronic books. They are a source of deep digging into a subject, which helps you to understand topic much better than from just a one-liner topic name or short Wikipedia page in internet. Navigate yourself effectively to find relevant books for topics of your interest is not a rocket science, and we can learn its basics right now. Even if a book name might not give you the clue what is this book about, we could find what major topic it is covering. First, we need to understand that there are two subtasks of subject analysis: subject headings assigning and classification. Subject headings in a brief described what are the major topic or topics of a book, and it requires deep analysis by librarians. We will discuss about it later in this video. Another subtask is to make an arrangement of materials in a collection, or in other words, to classify. In North American libraries, classification is used primarily to arrange material on shelves according to their subjects. So if you found book on a shelf which covers interesting topic, just look left and right nearby and you most probably find other good books which cover the same topic. The most popular classification systems in North America are Dewey Decimal Classification, I'll use abbreviation DDC, and the Library of Congress Classification, LCC. LCC contains more detailed and larger number of subject headings, but for classification numbering, to my mind, it's more convenient to use DDC system, because DDC numbering contains a hierarchical principle within a classification number itself. When I used libraries in Texas and Washington states, I remember DDC classification numbering was used. So if you live in the US, there is a high chance that you could see DDC in use in your library. Each subject heading assigned a decimal classification number. Let's talk about characteristics and structure of DDC classification number. The first point is, it contains numbers in standard decimal format to represent subjects related to branches. Classification number contains 10 main classes, 100 divisions, 10 divisions per class, and 1000 sections, 10 sections per division. Sections can be divided into subsections when needed to narrow down scope of subsection topic. Another characteristic of DDC classification number: classification is done by discipline. The primarily attribute applied in dividing knowledge is discipline, represented by the 10 main classes. We will see some examples later. Next, hierarchy is another important characteristic of DDC. The classification numbers in DDC move from broad categories to narrower ones, and from there to still narrower ones until the narrowest possible category is reached. Let's have a few examples of DDC main classes. We don't plan to cover all 10 now, but just mostly related to science and technology, which we are focused now. You can read yourself about other main classes. Let's start with main DDC class numbered as 0. It's about computer science, information, general works, and main part of classification number of a book will be between 000 and 099. I'll put such 3-digit classification number on the right side near the main class name. Let's skip main classes from 1 to 4. Main DDC class numbered 5. It's about natural sciences and mathematics. Classification numbers from 500 till 599. Main DDC class 6 is about technology, applied science. Main DDC class 9. It's about history, geography, and auxiliary disciplines. I used abbreviation, for example, DDC22. DDC is a versioned document. Each year, new subject headings can be added and classification numbering can be updated, changed. By the way, first edition of DDC was published in 1876. It had just 2 pages. After more than 20 editions, it became huge and covers a lot of topics. It's important to stress version number, because if you take catalog with all the DDC version, for example version 15, it may not contain certain classification number which appeared later and can be found in version 22. Or sometimes subsections can be moved under different section. So let's have a rule of thumb to use version of DDC when mark videos on MotivationHow portal. The latest available version at the time of publication is preferable. Next, each main class represented by divisions or narrower topics. Let's look to example of classification numbers for DDC technology main class under number 6. Let me bring 10 divisions here as an example. 60. General topics, for example, dictionaries, organizations, etc. 61. Medicine and health. 62. Engineering and allied operations. 63. Agriculture and related technologies, and others. These divisions are in turn divided into 10 sections. For example, the 10 sections in medicine and health are 610. General topics. 611. Human anatomy, cytology, histology. 612. Human physiology, and so on. By the way, 619 experimental medicine section was relocated in DDC 22 to 616.02. Now you can see how it is important to put DDC version number. Even we have categories represented by 3 digits number, they are not yet the narrowest and there is a room to move deeper. Then we are moving to more narrow subsections and represent smaller subcategories after dot in our coding. Mathematically speaking, subsections have added fractional decimal numbers, and they are added on the right side. Let's have a few examples. 620. Engineering and allied operation, standard subdivisions. 620.1. Engineering, mechanics and materials. 620.2. Sound and related vibrations. These two groups are direct subsections of engineering and allied operations. Let's go deeper under group numbered 620.1. For example, 620.17. Iron engineering properties and tests. For this subsection, rightmost number 7 is added. Another example of going deeper, 620.179. Iron and steel subsection with rightmost digit 9 for narrower subject. You can see how hierarchical and easy for us to use decimal system for classification numbering. From the very narrow subject, representing one of these leaves of our full DDC subject tree, you can travel in hierarchy till the main DDC classes. It can be done by taking out one decimal number on the right side to find the very next broader subject. Going further through related branches, removing another rightmost digit, you are coming to adjacent more broad subject. And eventually you will come to DDC division. For example, you can travel from iron and steel subsection through engineering, mechanics and materials and engineering and allied operations standard subdivision subsection, all the way to engineering and allied operations division numbered 62 and DDC main class technology with number 6. As you can see, it's relatively easy to use such decimal system in searching using computer. Just add or remove rightmost digit and you can move to narrower or broader topic, if such does exist. And the great thing about this classification that it was already done for your convenient use. As I already mentioned, good thing about libraries is when you search for your topic and found a book with its classification number, such book will be surrounded on the same library bookshelf with other books for the same topic, and they will have the same classification number. If you need more information for the topic, different views from different authors, it would be most probably better to read several books from the same shelf to make your own conclusions. When we will discuss scientific or technological subject within MotivationHow portal, we will use the same DDC classification numbering with the latest DDC version number where possible. So it was about the task for classification by assigned classification numbering. And DDC, Dewey Decimal Classification, allows us to navigate through related subject easily based on convenient decimal classification numbers. Let's wrap up what we have discussed in this video. Libraries are a good source of free access to full texts of books. With access to books shelved by subject, you can do focused examination of subject-related full texts. That would allow you to read information, make your own opinion, and build up knowledge and understanding of a topic. Books or book-length texts are important formats for learning at the higher levels to achieve detailed level of understanding. To effectively navigate in the thousands of books, classification efforts were made. One of the most popular is Dewey Decimal Classification. which is regularly revised and comes in versions. It allows to use a very convenient search by decimal hierarchy embedded in the classification numbers assigned for subjects. Such classification number contains number for 1 out of 10 main classes, number for 1 out of 10 divisions, number for 1 out of 10 sections within division, as well as narrower subdivisions, each of them adding decimal digits on the right side of classification number. When we cover a certain subject on MotivationHow portal, we will put a code related to scientific or technological branch based on the latest available version of DDC classification. That would allow us to have convenient online search on a portal by using classification number or its part. We also will try to keep relations between scientific and technological branches whenever possible. That would allow to easier remember hierarchy, and maybe would be useful to understand what prerequisites, which classes you may need to take prior taking certain university or college class, just based on such hierarchy. Classification number is convenient for search, plain with part or whole such a number. But there is another task to navigate through subject headings, and we will discuss it in the second part of the video classification and subjects. See you there!